This is how your nights will be.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gogotalx, brought to you by GOGOTIX. I'm your host, Malachi Johns, and just had little Chris from TOB on the line, and he went away. So I just texted him, so he should be back on in a second. We made sure everything was good beforehand, the Wi-Fi was good and all that. So hopefully we'll get him back here in a second. If you are watching on Instagram, keep in mind that you can only see one side of the interview on Instagram. You're only going to see my ugly face. So make sure if you want to see both sides of the interview that you head over to youtube.com/GOGOTIX. That is pinned in the comments at the top. So make sure you head over to youtube.com/GOGOTIX. And you'll get to see both sides of the conversation with me and little Chris from TOB. If you have any questions, you can either text them to 202-410-4843, or you can just ask them in the chat on YouTube Live as well. So I don't know. I'm stalling all I can. I don't know what happened. He was just here a second ago. I don't know what happened. What's up, Big B? What's up, Brooks? Supreme Gino, Mariah Cole 2, Mark 3, 427 Entertainment, Jackie Williams. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you are on Instagram, make sure you head over to youtube.com/GOGOTIX, and you'll be able to see both sides of the conversation. So, okay, all right, here we go. We got Chris back. So good. All right, we got a little Chris in the building. We are already live here, sir.
Yo.
Scared me for a minute there. I was like, hold up, what happened? Everything was good. We checked it and everything was good. Now you gone.
No. I had some technical difficulties.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. I felt like I was trying to book Jay-Z. I hope everybody appreciates the fact that it took me like 3 months to book this guy. He's a bona fide celebrity.
No, man.
I'll just mess with you, man. I'll just mess with you. I know you got a lot going on, but I appreciate you taking the time. So why don't you just kind of let everybody know, give everybody your history in just go-go and just the music industry and how you got into it and all that.
Well, of course, my little Chris TOB. I'm the founder. You know what I mean? I'm the lead talker. I call myself a lead talker. Most would say I'm the lead mic, but I'm the lead talker, band, musical director, all that. And I'm also the owner too, because I founded me and Young Gleesh. We found TOB, so we is the two owners, but he don't play with us no more. So I'm the owner, CEO now. But yeah.
I got you. Okay, that's a lot. It's a lot of work. I have been in a band at the same time, and it is not a game.
Trust me, I already know.
Yeah. So was TOB your first band, or?
Yeah, it actually was my first band. We started in middle school. Because we love playing instruments in the music class. Actually, like the music teacher in our class, like he let us like bang on the equipment like at lunchtime, like after, because music class was like right before lunch. So we'd be like at lunch, can we play on the quads? And then we'd go in there and bang on the quads, like we hitting on the TCB and Raw Image and Backyard and all the dope breakdowns from like early 2000s and 90s. So that's where it really started. And then my brother, one of my older siblings, he actually sung in the band too, as well. Third Dimension band. I don't know if you heard of 3DB.
Yeah, that's the band Aladdin used to play for, right? Man, Aladdin.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
Danny D. That's like Danny D. Aladdin. Yeah, that's like my big bro. So like I was always like the little youngin in the background, just used to follow my brother around. I used to just be around them and try to go to as much as I could, and that was what kind of inspired me and gave me a little bit of the will, because I ain't gonna say the drive, but the will to go ahead and start my own band, because I had influence, my brother had a lot of influence on me, and we come from like a musical background family, so it was like I seen him doing that and it was cool. Then it was like it was like at the time that was like the culture, like how a lot of kids now they inspire to be like Shy Glizzy or Fat Trail or Wale or even some of the up and coming guys in the area, the DMV area. Like when I was young, we wanted to be like Polo and Big G, and
so
this goes on.
I want to stick on that for a second. What year was this? Because there's definitely a break. There's definitely a break because it was the same way with me. Like when I was coming up, like Northeast Groovers and Backyard and Junkyard were like gods. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, exactly,
And
exactly.
and then there's a generation behind us, which I assume you're from that generation, and it still was that way. And then there was definitely a definitive time where it switched from go-go is the cool thing to hip hop is the cool thing. So what year did you graduate
Like
high
from
school?
school.
Yeah.
Well, my class was 2008, nine, I think. 8, 9. Yeah, I
Okay.
think 8 or 9. But nevertheless, I get the point that you're trying to make. I
Yeah.
think like after like, because I think TOB is like the last of the Mohegan when I say like we had the last bit of the young youth generation a little bit after me because I'm 29 and I
Right.
started TOB when I was 13.
Oh wow.
So like we kind of been around for a long time. So I've seen like my peers, they like moved on from all right, we used to like TLB, and now we like Backyard and we like this band now, and then like the like not the next generation after them, as far as like their cousins or the little brothers or people in the neighborhood that's younger than them, they kind of flock towards TOB. So now like the new generation of kids was kind of flocking towards TOB. So that's kind of like it's like I think after that generation, like from like 2010 to let's say all the way to like 15, I'm gonna say that's when people start really aspiring and really be like rappers. Like it was like a lot of kids don't even really listen to go-go anymore. So I think
Right.
that a lot of that, I think, and a lot of that has to do with because, like I said, when we came out, we was 13 and 14, so we played for our peers, so our peers grew with us in time. Like as we grew, the fan base and our peers grew with us. So it's like there is no kids to fill that void to relate to the people that's their age. All of the kids that's can relate. They rap or they say they sing or what I'm saying. So it's different.
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of broke the barrier because it isn't too many kid groups because I guess the kids think it's not cool to be in the go-go band. It's cool to be a rapper. So whereas though when I was growing up, nobody would listen to no rap stuff in this area unless it was Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, or so
No
on and
star.
so forth. People, you know what I mean? So I think that was
WD.
the barrier. I think that was the barrier for real. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, give me 1 second because my man Brooks is telling me that there's and we're definitely live here on I'm confused. I think maybe I don't know because it shows we got 5 viewers just in the last couple of seconds on YouTube, but he's saying that he's not seeing it. So if anybody is on YouTube right now that can see and hear us, can you please just do me a favor and make a comment? Let me know that you can see and hear us because somebody's telling me that they can't, but I'm seeing that people are on and can see us. So. So we got my man, 2CEO BVMG. He said, you've been doing this since middle school. He said, ask you if you remember the garage. So all
Yeah,
right, so
man,
you
it's
got to tell
definitely.
us now, what's the story of the garage?
So all right, so okay, we started out banging in Birdie Baptist Middle School. So when we man, I'm just gonna tell you the truth, man. We robbed the bank, we robbed the music room blind, and we took all the band equipment, and then you know how sometimes you get something one time, then you try to go back and get it twice, and then we got caught. But we took we practiced in my man garage. We took the equipment that we took and we put it in my man garage because that's where we used to practice at. We used to practice in the garage every day. I'm talking about before we even ever like went to an official go-go studio. You know what I'm saying? We used to practice in the garage. We had the little karaoke machine amps. We had about 5 of them rigged up. You know what I'm saying? With a 5-man front line. We had a little basic little Fisher, like not a Fisher Price, but a little basic little Remo, little jump set, and then we went to Chuck Levin's. Everybody know the legendary Chuck Levin's for all like, especially go-go. Like that's really like the mecca for go-go. You know what I'm saying? Mostly all the go-go musicians in this area have at least been to Chuck Levin's at least once or twice, if not their whole career. So with that
Yep.
being said, we didn't have like the only thing we had that was official was like the Timbales and the Rototons, because of course you got to go by that. Like you can't, ain't no
Right.
faking that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we used to practice in the garage all the time. Like I'm talking, like we went like a whole year with practicing in the garage without playing shows or whatever. So I mean, that's where it all started at, in the garage, though. Yeah, that's exactly where it started
Well,
at.
a few things about that. One is that, I mean, if you, through the course of this interview series, and not just in GoGo, but just in general, you find that most of the successful bands that have had any kind of run rehearsed for quite a long time before they actually went out and played, because they wanted to get their shit together and make sure that they sounded good. So
No
that's one
question.
thing. And then secondly, um, a lot of bands started in the garage. You know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with that at all. And
I'm
when
here.
I started Mambo Sauce, we used to rehearse at White Mike's studio from Backyard on New
I
York
know
Avenue.
it's 202. 202. We
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
rehearse it. That was like one
yeah.
of our first studios we practiced at too, at
Yeah.
202. So I definitely agree, man. I definitely
Yeah.
agree. 100% agree.
Well, if anyone watching is not familiar with that studio, and no disrespect to Mike, but it was the worst sounding rehearsal studio in the history of mankind, and because it was huge. Well, I think later on he sectioned it off, but like at the beginning, it was just this big ass empty room with
We
concrete floors, concrete everything. Everything was echoing all over the place. And I told
uh
my boss, I was like, "Listen, this is where we want to rehearse, because if you can sound good in here, you can
You
sound good
sound
anywhere."
good anyway, exactly.
And,
And it was also a club. They actually turned it
yep,
to Walk Jam. For
yep.
those of y'all don't know, Walk Jam, our one of our managers that used to manage us back then, he used to be a
Milwaukee,
promoter, a
he's a
real big
bad job.
promoter. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
Walk Jam, he's the goat. I always give.
yeah.
If it wasn't for Walk Jam, I wouldn't be half of what I am right now, and I still feel like I ain't nowhere. But like for the success that we have had, he got a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? Just having him around us to be over top of us, coaching us throughout the years and managing us, and just giving me the game, showing me everything as far as like on the business side and what's supposed to be done and how I'm supposed to carry things, and just from just raising me as a man to a boy, because I can honestly say he raised us. Like he met us when we was like 15. He stopped
Mm-hmm.
managing us. We was like 20. We was like in our mid 20s, like 23, 24. So we was
Mm-hmm.
already adults by then. You know what I mean? So he can honestly say I watched them grow up as kids. So like I mean, but yeah, definitely it used to be a club though. It definitely used to be a
Mm-hmm.
club because that's definitely one of our first, you know what I'm saying, spots after like club levels closed down or whatever. We used to play at the Avenue every Saturday, all ages with TCB and the list of whole other bands. But that's kind of like one of the like names, I mean, household clubs, I meant, that we made our name at, you know what I'm saying? The
Okay.
Avenue, because it's right there by Central Quarter. So, like,
Yeah.
we used to get everybody down there to come see us play down there. So it's like, that's one of the spots that I'm always going to remember in Go-Go, because even though it wasn't really nothing, like the sound was horrible, like it was just a hole in the wall, but it's something to remember, like, like it's something that I never forget, because that's where we started at. So, yeah.
Okay. So let's back up a little bit, because we skipped over some time there. So okay. So you're starting the band. You're in the garage. I mean, let's stick on the Walk Jam thing. When did Walk Jam come into the picture? When was like when did people start paying attention to the fact that, like, there's something here?
Well, at first, Young Gleesh, he's a rapper, Young Gleesh from here.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him started TOE. We used to call him Boogie, but his rap name Young Gleesh. His mom actually started managing us first, because she seen that after the whole stealing equipment from the school situation, it all came to the light while our parents came. Our parents found out about it. You know what I'm saying? Because we was kids at the time. And then once his mom seen that me and her son had like a drive to even do some crazy shit like that, to want to still like to be in the go-go band, she was like, well, I need to get behind them and manage them and have some type of guidance, so that, because I see
Mm-hmm.
this what my son and his friend really wants to do. So she
Mm-hmm.
got behind this. So she was managing us for a long time, and Tina B did a whole lot for
Yeah.
TOB too, because she was like that manager, but that mom figure. Like
Yep.
she was like the team mom, you know what I'm saying? She was like our
She was
first.
like
She
a
was like the
mom for
first.
everybody in the bounce beat circuit, right?
Exactly, but she
Yeah.
started with TLB because Gleesh is her son, so
Gotcha.
she kind of like, she was the first TLB manager, so she just like paved the way for all of us. Like she made a way for us, and then she met Walk Jam, and once
Okay.
she met Walk Jam, that's when her and Walk Jam did the whole co-manager thing. You know what I'm saying? She did
So
the whole
wait,
co-manager thing.
I think I missed something. So Tina B is his mom, or you said his mom was managing on Tina B helped?
No, Tina B is his mom.
It's his mom. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Tina B
I
is
do.
Tina B, and Gleesh is Gleesh's mom. Me and him
Okay.
started TLB. My
Okay.
original timbali player, my original percussionist. Yeah,
Got
then his mom, Tina B, she managed us for the first few years of TOB. You know what I'm
Got
saying? Then that's when we met Walk Jam. When we was playing at club levels. I know you're familiar with club levels on
Yep.
Montana Avenue. We used to
Yep.
play
Yep.
at club levels. That's what we started at. Because we had met DJ Crazy, and that's when we first met Rick from Reaction, and they was running the all age show there every Saturday, and that's when we had that's when she was managers or whatever, and we had met Walk because Walk, you know how some promoters just be at other people's shows and stuff. He would just
Yep.
happen to be there because he was hearing a whole lot about a little kid band called TOB, so he came and checked us out, and then we met him, and he met Tina, and then he just started, helping us out. Well, should I say helping her out, manage the band, basically schooling her and telling her
Mhm.
stuff. And they basically was a cohesive unit. It was like the yin and the yang. So it was like they managed for us for a long time, and then she stopped managing us. Then Walk took over full time, and then he was just the manager until it ran its course with him too. But he definitely played a big part in everything we was doing, because at the time when we first met him, he was like one of the hottest promoters in go-go. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
He had a lot of, even if like he wasn't the main promoter, the promoters would hire him to promote in the streets because he was a good street promoter. So
Yep.
yeah, so at that time we was blessed to be like, we used to play like we one of the only young bands to say that we played at the Black Hole. I can honestly say I played at the Black Hole. I played at
Okay.
club levels. I
Yep.
played at the Mad Chef. I played at the Neon. I played at like the most historical spots that a lot of people after me or people that came up with me, they wasn't blessed to play there because Walk Jam was our manager. So we had a little
Right.
bit of an advantage because of who we was. So, you know. Yeah.
So what are some things that you learned from him along the way that you think could be helpful to other artists in the game or other bands in the game? Like, what are some things that, or Tina, like either one of them?
I basically learned from both Tina and Walk about just being structured. When I don't really give advice a lot because
Mhm.
a lot of the people, a lot of the younger bands that's like younger than, or should I say not younger, but they're like under TOB and the bracket or however you want to call it,
Mhm.
they like my age. So I don't really give advice because like to me, coming from me, it's like we the same age, but I've been doing it longer than them. So I don't seem to always give out, a lot of advice. But when I do give advice, I always tell like the younger bands upon us, you gotta be structured. You gotta have some type of structure because that's the only way a band works if you have structure. The management has to be the management, and the band has to be the band. You know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
gotta have some type of structure, or it won't work.
Right. So
You know
what
what
do
I'm
you
saying?
what do you mean? What do you mean specifically by structure? Like, how do you like? You just mean like? I mean, I guess just what you just said is the manager is the manager, the band is the band, or are there additional steps that you found that worked for you guys? Or
I mean, yeah, yeah, like especially like with group chat and like communicating with your manager and like you know what I'm saying, because like you got some people that's elite, that's like, you know what I mean, that's kind of like they don't have the best of both worlds. To have a manager, they had to be the manager and the lead talker. So if I'm the lead talker and I can just be the lead talker, I can just focus on music and running my band and doing all that type of stuff with my, whereas though my management is worrying about the bookings and if you want to book the band, who to call, and like what we gonna wear, like as far as like merch, like clothes, shirts, or merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Just have a team and have it structured and have structure set up within the band, because if the band don't have structure, then it's like everybody gonna be all over the place. So it gotta have some type of structure and like, like some type of plan and agenda. But the management has to be like the front runner of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was always blessed to have a manager. And like a lot of stuff that my managers used to have to deal with when I was like coming up in the game, I didn't have to worry about that. Or you know what I mean? Because they wouldn't really, it wasn't really our business. It was our business, but you get what I'm saying? It wasn't
yep,
really our business. All we had to do was focus on making and creating music. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And leave the business up to the management and just trust that they making the best decisions for the whole group. Because it's a
Right.
whole group. It's not just one or two or three people. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by structure. Just having just a plan, just having everything always mapped out and laid out, regardless of what move you make. You know what I'm saying? Having everything structured.
So what made you decide, or did you decide, or were you sort of forced into becoming the manager as well? Like what
What you say?
I said, what made you decide to be to become the manager, or did you decide or did you just have to do it out of necessity?
I mean, I'm not the manager. I actually have a manager. I'm not
Oh,
the
okay.
manager.
Okay. I thought you
Actually,
said earlier
yeah,
you're just the
yeah, no,
owner.
no, no, no. Yeah, I'm the owner, but as far as like, I still have a manager. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like
Okay,
it's no more
gotcha.
different from like, it's no more different from like if a football team like how you got the GM, then you got the owner. You know what I mean? I'm the owner because well, let's say I founded T. I'm the founder. I found TOB. Let me take
Yeah.
it back. I found TOB. My manager, I would more or less say he's the owner because he's the sole like investor of TOB, and he also manages 12 other people. I mean, 11 other people other than just me. So it's like I would
Right.
say I'm the founder and he would be the owner slash manager. You know what I mean? Because he invests a lot of the money. He's one of TOB's biggest investors. So like yeah, I would say that. But I mean, as far as like me knowing everything, I would say I'm like a co-owner because like me and him have a relationship where as though I know everything that's going on. He tell me everything that's going on. It's like he called me before any decision made. He gonna call me and we gonna sit down at the round table and we gonna make a decision for everybody, the best decision for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even and he also give me the pros and cons of a situation. If you do this, then this could happen. If you do this could happen. But I'm gonna roll with you, and we're gonna make the best decision. But whatever you do, you gotta stick to it, and you gotta stand on the decision you make. You know what I mean? So I guess he more my new manager named Rod. He kind of like puts everything in better perspective. Like whereas though he's more business and he's more trying to get me involved in the business because like he always tell me like one day you won't have to run the business by yourself to that point. So
Mhm.
I guess what I say, she said he's getting me ready to get to that point the way as though I can run the business by myself. But right
Gotcha.
now we both run the business together, my manager Rob. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I would say just from experience, if you can avoid having to be in the band and be the manager at the same time, I would do that at all costs.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest headache you can imagine in the history of life. But
Yeah.
for being able to focus on one or just on the other is the better situation. But obviously, you got to do what you got to do. So no problem. So okay, so when did you start to realize that like this is really I mean, I know you said that that Tina B was helping you at first, and then you started to make a little buzz, and then Walk Jam came in. When did you? And funny enough, Walk Jam actually been around for a long time. He got my old band that's from I'm from Annapolis, and I had a band that was from Annapolis, and we opened for Backyard at the Lapina back in the '90s, and it was a Walk Jam show.
That's
So
old
he,
school. That's
yeah, he's
old
been doing
school. That's old
yeah,
school.
he's been doing it for a very, very long. Yeah, I started playing go-go in '92, so it's been a
Ah,
long.
I was just 2 years old.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been around for a minute, but and so is Walk Jam obviously because he was already in position. He was already the promoter and the guy and the man to go to. You know what I mean? So he's definitely got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of experience. But aside from Walk Jam starting to take an interest, when did you really start to real? What was the moment that you realized like, oh, this really could be something? Like this is more than just like we're just having fun playing in the band. Like this is like some big shit.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. See, a lot of people at GoGo, they not gonna really tell their real story. I'm gonna tell you my real story. I was one of them youngers that when I was listening to the GoGo in the house, I used to be in the mirror thinking I'm one of them. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
like, when you take all into perspective, and then you finally start doing it, and then you like I said, I was blessed to be put on a lot of big platforms, but so young and so early that
Hmm.
the average person would have been like, how they get to play there and this and that. But
Hmm.
it's like when we met Walk and then we first got like we played at this one used to be called it's called the Echo Stage now, but it used to be called the DC Tunnel.
DC
When we
Tunnel. Yeah.
used to play there, the
Yeah.
very first time we played there, and this around the time I think CC Critical Condition CCD band they was scorching hot. Like that's when they was saying encore and
Yeah.
they was just scorching hot. They had come up. TCB was hot and the Backyard of course was hot and the all ages was kicking ass. But like the first time we played the channel and like I got on stage and then we played and I seen like the reaction from like the crowd to us and then I'm thinking like dang, I'm thinking to myself, we just little TLB, up and coming band. And then like once I seen like the reaction, then we just kept playing every time they threw a tunnel. And then it was like this one moment, it was like this one show that like I got up there and we was playing like the whole club was moving. I was like, man, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like I'm like, we
Right.
really like made everybody in the club party. Mind you, we was still on I call it the up and slumming stage. We was up and slumming, coming up. We was trying to come up. You know what I'm saying? The average the average band would have been like, man, them dudes up there making a lot of noise. But the one thing a lot of people used to tell us when we was young, y'all got potential. So I just kept thriving off that. Y'all got potential. And then like I said, that one time I looked up, man, and man, I told the club, man, to do something and they did it. Like the whole club did it. So that's what I really like. I think I really started smelling myself, should I say, like, oh, I know we got it now. You know what I mean? And that's when we were still coming up though, because you know, everybody, well, I know for us, we started off with the little Casio Yamaha keyboards with no shots. I don't know if everybody knows that is, like the
speakers
hits,
with the speakers
on it, and you can put the batteries in it. If you ain't have an AC adapter, you get the big dumb batteries and put them in the back. So I'm old school. That's how we started. We started without, and then we one of the bands that like started without a bass guitar player. So like we went like our first 3 years, we was like without a bass guitar player, without really a real bass line. So it's like T.O.B. sound is always gonna be raw because of that. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be raw because of that. Because we started without a bass guitar player. So yeah, man, that's what I knew. Like, man, when I seen the whole, I told the club, and we still hit this song to this day. I said, "Part 2, Move Your Body, Girl," and I seen the whole club go the way I wanted them to go. That's when I realized I got the power. So all it is called, it's about command, about having that command. Once, and like I said, my man OG, shout out to my man Busta Move OG. He always used to tell me, "Shorty, you got that it factor." He always tell me that. Busta Move, shout out to my man Busta Move, he a real nigga. He always tell me.
Kenny Monday.
Yeah. He always tell me. Since he first met me, he say, "Shorty, you got that it factor. That's what you got. You got." And I realized that when I was young, without realizing. You know what I'm saying?
This what he said. He said, "Shorty, you got the it factor. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?"
No, no question. That's my man. Man. He told me that. That's when I realized that, though. That's when I realized that, man. You know, man. I was still so young, like I was like 15. So I'm like, dang, I'm making people do this. And then, like I said, on top of that, I mean, a lot of people used to always tell me, like, man, Shaw, just stick to it. Just stick to it, Shaw. You got it right now. If you just stick to it, Shaw, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be like that. You know what I mean? I always used to thrive on that, but I still used to tell them, like, nah, I'm trying to come up. You know, still trying to be as humble but be confident at the same time too. So
right. That's what's up. Well, I remember seeing you guys at G's in probably I don't remember.
that was like 2000. That was like 2008 or some shit like that. Had to be.
No, it had to be. It had to be before that because I felt it was before Mambo Sauce really started going. Well, no, because I started Mambo Sauce in 2003, but we didn't really make any noise until Miracles, which was 2007, and I know it was before that. So it must have been like 2005, 2006, something like that, because I was helping Tub and Big to sort of get the club together or whatever. So I remember that. Definitely remember seeing you guys then. And then there was sort of a pivotal moment that brought you guys to my attention, which was when Chuck performed the show. How did that come about?
Now look, as crazy as it's about to sound, right? A lot of people don't believe me, but I know that I ain't gonna never forget this day. I remember it like it was yesterday, cause we had like 3 shows in one day. So a lot of people think that was staged, like Walk Jam must have paid Chuck Brown to be there, or they must have paid Chuck Brown to be there. We was playing for somebody's sweet 16 birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
I was running late and all that. Walk Jam chewing me out. Chris, where you at? I told you, man, don't. I had to go do something else before I played. I had to go host this party. He was like, nah, don't go do that, man. You need to be at the show. So I went in and did it. It was running late. I'm on my way. So as soon as I get there, running like 10 minutes late. As soon as I get there, the band was setting up. They was like sound check. So I walk in and drink. I go check my mic. Test my mic. 2 1 2. You know how we say 2 1 2, 2 1 2.
Yeah.
So I get up there 2 1 2, et cetera, et cetera. Next thing you know, my best friend, God rest his soul, my man Zoe, God rest his soul. My best friend, he was in the band too. He passed away last year. He came up to me. He came up to me and said, "Bro, Chuck Brown in the back." So I'm looking at him like, "Man, you wildin', man. Man, get out my face, man. This ain't cool, man. I just got cussed out by the manager because I'm late. You talking about Chuck Brown in the back?" Boom. He said, "All right." So then my other best friend, all 3 of us, we all hang together. I got 2 best friends, all 3 of us hang together. My other best friend, Bo, he was there too. He walked up to me and said, "Bro, he ain't lying, bro. Chuck Brown back there." So I'm looking at him like, man, y'all just, what y'all trying to get me? You know what I'm saying? Y'all want me to go back there? Y'all trying to prank me? You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right. So we played, we cranked, we take a break. You know what I'm saying? We played at somebody's party, took a little break or whatever, a little 10-minute little break, intermission. Then, you know what I'm saying, the family had food for us. But where the food was at, that's where my friends was telling me Chuck Brown was at.
Okay.
So when we take the 10 for 10, I get to give me a plate of food. So I go get in the line. I just hear an old rapping voice. So I'm like, oh, that sound like Chuck Brown. But I'm like, that ain't him. And, like, you know how you see somebody in the flesh and you like, no, man, that's not Chuck. But dude look like him though. So I got closer. I'm like, hold up. My man said, bro, I told you, but that's Chuck. I go over there, that's Chuck Brown. I'm like, what's up, Chuck? Guess what he told me? Sure, you're right. He said, sure, you're right.
Of course,
he said, sure, you're right. He said, sure, you're right. I said, oh shit, they got Chuck Brown up in his jank. He said, sure, you're right. I'm like, damn, that's why I got a picture of Chuck Brown on my Instagram and Facebook. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got to take that picture to the grave with me. I took a picture with him. You know what I'm saying? That was like the iconic. I think that's, man, I don't know. I think that's probably one of the most iconic pictures of him and probably LeBron James, because Chuck Brown, he the dope. So, you know, I took a picture. Then now I'm really like psyched up now because I'm like, oh shit, we was playing. I'm first only thing as I'm walking away from Chuck Brown, I'm thinking only in my head like, I hope we won slung. Well, I hope we was cranking hard. He liked us. I'm like, dang, I ain't know he was back there. I would have showed out. So then the second set started, you know, we got to show out. We showed out the second set, so we get to cranking. So then right before I was about to say that's all our time, the girl who party we played for, she just turned 16. Her grandfather, Chuck Brown must have been real close friends with their family or something. She was there at that event, and she's only 16. So the grandfather was like, yeah, Chuck want to get up there with y'all and play. We was like, for real? Tell him, come on up here. And he came up there, and man, if you put up the footage, if you look at that footage, the whole band, we look like some kids in a candy store or kids in a toy store. Like everybody's eyes lit up, like he lit the whole room up. You know what I'm saying? And then it was to me, it was iconic because he bridged the gap, because it wasn't, if you looked around in that room, it wasn't just people his age, or it wasn't nobody really his age there. It was kids there. They even knew how iconic it was. They had their phones out. So, like, you know what I mean? That was like a good little, I feel like that's one of the biggest moments in TOB history. If you ask me, I don't think nothing to top that.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, you talking about the picture? I'm always kicking myself because we had, you know, Chuck Brown was in the Welcome to DC video at the very end, and I wasn't there to meet him at that time because we sent the videographers to his house basically, and he had his own limo. I think it was his own limo, or maybe we rented a limo. I can't remember, but
I think he did have a limo. I think he did have
a limo, and so he just was at his house in the back of the limo, and that's where they filmed it. You know, where he's on the phone telling the police chief to let Mama Sauce out of jail, right? Because he's the Godfather, and he called and left me a message. And first of all, I mean, I don't know how the hell I missed this phone call. Of course, I didn't know who it was. I didn't have his number in my phone. But I don't normally just not answer my phone. And he left me this nice message thanking me and I was like, man, Chuck Brown just called to say thank you to me. Like, no, thank you to you. Like, what do you mean? And then I saved it for like so many years. And then somehow when I made like one time I upgraded a phone or something like that, and it got kicked out. And I was like, man, that's just so at least you got a picture with him, so that's good. I do have one picture because I met him later on because we were on the Grammy board together for DC chapter. But my wife's got a picture with him, but I don't. So good for you that you at least have that. So when you guys started, though, was there ever a thought of we want to do, like, was the thought process? I mean, you sort of said this already, but it was the thought process. We want to be, you know, TCB or Backyard or Wrestlers or whatever, or was the thought process we want to take GoGo and be national arts with it? Was that ever a consideration or not?
Well, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. As a kid, as I told you earlier, as a kid, aspirations was different because we from DC. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Everybody know how DC is. Coming up in DC is totally different swag, like it's different. So like that's a part of like culture. Like it's like when I was growing up, everybody was in the go-go band. Like every block, every hood in DC had a go-go band. Mainly everybody was in the go-go band. You know what I'm saying? So it was like our aspirations was just to be those niggas, like to be those guys, to be the people that we looked up to be. Like it didn't really dawn on me till, let's say, probably, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be all the way real, to like probably 2 or 3 years ago, where I started really thinking like larger on a larger platform to like I want to be a national act, because I feel like go-go is the world's best kept secret. Like that nobody never really heard, but they know about it. But when they think about go-go, they think about doing it in the butt and busting
Yep.
loose, which was 30, 40 years ago. So I
Yep.
always be thinking like now, like the last 3 years, my aspiration has been, how can we do things to get outside of DMV and get globally? You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
that's what it's about. Because like right now, the pandemic going on, if go-go was mainstream and national, all the bands would be in the studio right now recording real art, real songs with real like verses and lyrics and original content, and we would be paid without even playing. You know what I'm saying? Even though like music has slowed down for a lot of the genres, even rap, R&B, because they can't tour and gig. But I'm saying if we had it on a national platform, we would still be able to see residuals off of it, because everybody would just be making music videos or original music. I mean, or not, I keep saying original music. We'd be making our own music without covering anybody else's music. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So that was, yeah. So in the sort of intake form that I sent out to book people, that was, there's the question is in one sentence, what do you think can move go-go to the international stage? And your answer was originality, all original content, no covers.
Yeah, I mean that, and really like just stop settling for the old. I always just say stop settling for the old traditional way of go-go, because if go-go is going to evolve, it's like the blueprint has to evolve too. Like, because traditional go-go, we're known for putting out PA tapes from the live shows, because go-go is live. But if we want to go mainstream, we got to think mainstream. We got to think
Mhm.
the industry. We got to structure and put the music together like how a real song would be put together, and just not think like all the time about like live shows and gigging, because that's really what go-go really consists of. Everybody thinks about the live experience and gigging every week. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what we
Well,
need.
well, and that's, yeah, and I don't remember who I was talking to last week, but I mean the traditional um, outlook of go-go has been to take what you do on stage and try to
And
recreate
pass
it
it
in the
out.
studio, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
exactly backwards from what every other genre of music does, which is create something in the studio. Well, create something, go to the studio to record it, spend some actual time to make sure it's a great product.
Exactly.
And the go-go mentality is, or not mentality, but just the way that it's traditionally done is we just go into the studio, play the song that we played last night, 3 or 4 times, and then we're done. So,
And then we wait for the sound man to mix it down, and then it's done.
right.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, give me 1 second. Hey, Google, stop. Sorry, I don't know. I must have said a go-go too fast or something, but my Google thing started talking to me. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, so that's really interesting to me, because I think that not a lot of people are really thinking along those lines.
Yeah.
So are you guys now? One of the things I want to say, I want to shout you guys out for. So I also run a page. Obviously, it's that's what this show is through, called GOGOTIX, and
Yeah.
I'll get GOGOTIX, and there's a couple of reasons for it. One, I wanted to have a place where if you wanted to go see a go-go, you wanted to go see a band, because obviously there's not as many people that want to see that now, because the younger demographic has fallen off. And so I wanted to make it easier for somebody to find out where TOB plays on Friday night, and without having to go to some private Facebook group or whatever, or because a lot of the bands, not you guys, but a lot of bands don't even promote their own shit. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to create a place where you could just go, and it would be like looking at the Fillmore's website or something, and you could just see where every band plays every night, and it looks like something. And also, if I'm from Alabama or something, and my cousin is from DC, and I'm coming in town and I want to see a band, I look at it. I look at this website or this Instagram page, and it looks like something that I would expect from someone on a national level, as opposed to the local look and sound that we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
um, so I've am very particular about what gets posted and reposted on the Instagram page. I have a
Right.
rule that I don't really post other people's flyers unless it was designed by us, because I want to keep the quality level high, and I don't post videos unless it's something that uh, a 13-year-old Asian kid in Arizona would look at and be like, "That's cool." You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
find myself reposting a lot of your videos, and so because the quality is very high, and so I wanted to know, like, is that something that you guys, cognizantly said, listen, we need to have super high quality videos, or did you just happen to hire a video guy that was really good and got lucky, or was that intentional that you wanted to make sure that the quality level was really high?
Well, if you talking about like our videos that we put on like our Instagram and like
Yeah,
see like with that we always hire because see over the years we've been playing and just thinking like all right, we play, all right, we crank. But you can walk around and say we playing and we crank and yeah, we better than y'all and this and that or this, that, or whatever you want to say. But if you don't have the content and you don't have the visuals and you don't have great cameramen that can capture these moments, just like even back then from like the whole Chuck Brown experience. If we didn't
yep,
have a cameraman, we wouldn't have been able to capture that video. So we
yep,
always used to think like that. But as times grew, we know that we live in a social media area where as though it's not just about playing every week. And that's what I
yep,
try to get a lot of the go-go bands to understand. It's not just about playing every week. It's about what you're doing off the stage for real. Because one thing about it, people want to see visuals. People want to see what you're doing. To oppose to you getting on the internet ranting about what you're doing, you got to show people what you're doing. And that's why, like, we everywhere we play it, whether like we play at a lot of outside events, like a lot of the Mochella events, a lot of protest events. I ain't gonna lie, we play pretty much any place that like for like neighborhood, like cookouts, like we just did a few cookouts over the week that just passed. And like we pretty much play, but when we play, we always look at it as that's just one more show that we can capture the content and we can create the look and create the vibe. And that makes people look at the video and that makes them want to call TOB. That's other ways to create revenue to just putting a CD out, trying to give it to people to cram it in their head. Because if you put a CD out with 10 songs on it, they're gonna skip over at least 9 of them, and 3 of them they only might like. 2 of them they only might. I mean, one of them they might like. Honesty, or they might skip over 7 of them, and they might like 3 of them, and then all the rest
right.
of it is like so. So like we just trying to create other little ways to create what I'm saying, bookings so we can create more revenue, especially at a time like this in the pandemic, because you got to, what I'm saying, capture all the content. Like, I don't care if you play in somebody's baby shower, you should capture that content because then someone else will call you for business because they seen how put together and how neat the video look. The baby shower might not even been put together right, but because of the content and the video and the camera work and the editing, and like I said, we live in a social media, that's what's going on now. We live in a social
Yep,
media era. So like you gotta
right.
capture all content. You gotta capture the content. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's good. That's forward thinking, and I'm glad you guys are thinking like that. So, having said that, what do you think? Because clearly the the Shy Glizzies, the Rico Nasties, the Zan Mans, of the world have figured something out, and are doing something different than go-go bands are doing, because they're experiencing a different level of success in a different way than go-go bands are. What do you think that is, and how do you think go-go can adapt to take advantage of those same things?
I think it's more or less they got a lot of marketing and they have a lot of people investing money. Like I think like we live in an era now where you can't really do nothing unless it's like money behind it. Like you gotta have, not to say like that, and everybody's not blessed to have that, but you gotta have some type of financial backing behind your product because that's the only way you can really like touch other people. Like when you have the people, when you have the money to do certain things that other people can't do, or you have the backing to do things that other people can't do, then it's going to help you out in the long haul. I really think like you got to really put money behind your invest. I mean your product. Like that, I really think that's what they did. They found people to invest into their product because like I watched all 3 of those artists you just say, or Shy Glizzy and Rico Nasty. I watched them like climb the ladder. Like boom, 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 boom. And they still being consistent making music, you know what I'm saying? And they also had people behind them, you know what I'm saying, backing them because they believe in their product. And they was making good product at the time. So I think really, and I think go-go bands need to think outside of the boxes, just thinking like we're just go-go guys that just get on the mic and we just shut up and play every week and then we want to get paid, you know what I mean, after every show. I think we really have to treat it as if like we're artists, right? Real artists. That's the only way it works. If you don't treat it like you're an artist, then you're just a go-go band. And then you're just gonna be stuck here forever in the chitlin circle. That's what I call the chitlin circle.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, it's been called that for a long time. So people are making fun of me for saying Glizzy. I said Shy Glizzy. He's a rapper. I did not say I didn't make up his name. I just said what his name was. So shut up, Brooks and Gino. Oh, Gino, you said what's a Glizzy? I'm not getting into all that, but I'm talking about the rapper Shy Glizzy. Gino is the keyboard player from EU, and Brooks is just being a smart ass. Brooks from Reaction.
Hello, Brooks.
Yeah. He's out. You know, he came out here. He's out here now. So
Okay.
I started a production company, and he is part of it, and we're working on some stuff, and you know maybe we should connect on some of that, and you know see if we could do something together because it's based around a bounce beat sound. But so is your the hardest thing is to get everybody in the band on the same page. Have you been able to do that? And if not, what help do you need?
What did he say?
I said, have you been able to get all of your band members on the same page of yes, we want to be a national act, and so we have to act like artists, and we have to approach this from a different way than your average go-go band does. Because to me, that's always been the biggest challenge. Is you might get 3 or 4 guys that are like, yeah, I understand, we got to do this, and we got to grind it out, and it's a different strategy, and it's not the same thing. It's just playing every week and getting an envelope. And then you got 3 or 4 guys that are just like, man, I need my money or I'm out.
See, I can't speak for everybody else, band, but I know how my band works. I mean, I lead by example. I wouldn't tell the band to do nothing that I wouldn't do. So listen, if I was to so I'm just gonna make a prime example of what I mean by that. If I was to tell them let's walk on hot cold, they gonna look at me like I'm stupid, but they gonna walk on that hot cold with me because they know, man, Chris walk on that hot cold. He walking on that hot cold for some reason, and it's gonna lead us to somewhere. It's gonna lead us somewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow him. I don't care if our feet be burnt, but we gonna get somewhere. So basically, it's like a chain of command. My band, I don't really have that problem because everybody see the hard work and the determination and dedication that I put in. Like normally, like anything that I got something to do with TLB, I'm the first one to walk in the door, and I'm the last one to walk out the door when it's over. So it's like with me, they see that from me. I tell them all the time, bro. I want to be bigger than what we are now. I want to be like the Beatles. Like they be laughing, but they know that I'm dead serious and like I'm passionate about it. Like I tell them all the time,
there's zero reason why you can't be. That's all I'm saying. Like the Beatles were just dudes. They just were from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And they literally put in the work. The Beatles went to Germany and played cover songs for 3 or 4 years to get good and to be a good band and to learn and to dissect those songs and learn how to write songs. Not everybody that plays an instrument knows how to write songs. The Beatles took a lot of time to learn how to write songs. Understood. You got to understand how to know what you don't know and either find somebody else that does know that or learn how to do it. But I feel like most of the culture in go-go is everybody already knows everything. And nobody has anything to learn. And so, you know what I mean? So then nobody takes that next step to really try to get, but nobody's where they want to be yet. But nobody wants to learn anything new to figure out how to get there. So that was the point of this show really is to, rather than me just angrily saying that all the time and nobody listening, to just have conversations about it and hope that, you know, we can get the information out there so that I just want somebody to pick up the baton. And I hope, you know, it sounds like it could be you guys. You got a good head on your shoulders. You sounds like you got a good team. You guys understand the visual aspect of it, which is huge. Sounds like you're figuring out the songwriting part of it. So I'm excited to hear what what you guys got coming up. John Pimental said, "Tell Chris I'm proud of him. This Fat John from the V, original fan." I don't know if you know who that is, but he said
Tell
he's
him one
proud.
love, man. Tell him
Yeah,
one love, man.
for
One love,
sure.
man.
And then 2CEO WBBMG. They kill me with these Instagram names. What do you think about being one of the main engines behind the Don't Mute DC movement? Because you guys have been the band that's been on the most of those shows, right? If I'm not mistaken, you've been on more than
Yeah,
any other band.
we actually started like the whole movement, like as far as
Mhm.
like with the whole go-go movement, us and Mental Attraction Band, we was like the first band to play like when all of the when they tried to say tell Don their own Citrus Communications Metro PCS turn his music off, and
Right.
Ron Moulton got into it with the one of the guys that live in the neighborhood or whatever that just moved here or
Yep.
whatever. So I mean, we was the first band like to actually play. I mean, WDC to me it's gonna always be like a movement. I just feel like we just can't let up. We just gotta just keep we gotta keep driving it. You know what I'm saying? All the entities. You know what I'm saying that got something to do with trying to help the city out. You know what I mean? And use GoGo because GoGo has a big platform to bring people out. Because what they say, people love to come to free GoGo. They love the
Yeah.
GoGo when it's free. So I
Yeah.
mean, but saying us as the GoGo bands and like GoGo leaders and lead talkers, we got to use our platform and use our popularity for positivity. Because in the long run, it's going to all trickle back down. It's going to come back around to us. So like, you gotta help you gotta do what you can do. You gotta do what you can do for the community. You know what I'm saying? As far as me, I know I have a huge voice with music and go-go and my brand. So, I'm always on front line for stuff like that. You know what I mean? And most of the time, it don't even be about the money. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'm with it because, like, I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I slacked off with my community activist work. But like a few years ago, I was working with a lot of like community activists, like Tony Lewis, Trayon White, Ron Moon. I was working with a lot of, so I got a chance to meet a lot of different people because music is also political too. You know what I mean? So I had to
100%.
meet, I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people in that field. You know what I mean? So that's when that situation came about, it was like peanut butter and jelly. It just go together. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it was it was easy because I already worked with half of the community leaders, and like even like Yada Yada from Mochella, I was been working with him too. So it's like I've been
Yeah.
working with a lot of people throughout the years, so I just just bridge the gap. And like I said, basically using my platform for positivity to help people out too. Though I know we
That's
gonna get our blessing in the long run. So yeah,
indeed. Well, speaking of Mochella, there's one coming up this weekend, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So why
That's
don't you
right.
tell us about it? Give us the lowdown.
Well, of course, most of the Mochellas, they be protests like for causes, and I guess this
Yep.
one is for like black home, like what I'm saying, black homes, and what I'm saying, them evicting people, and the $600 they trying to take away the $600, the little check they was trying to take away from people because of all the fraud and stuff that's been going on. So, I mean, we basically down there for that cause this week. Well, this week is going to be us, Junkyard, and I think the Action. Because normally it'd be like us, TCB, and probably another band, or normally just be us, TCB, and sometimes UCB. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But most of the time, we always on like the call and front line for all the Mo Challenge. Though. We got a real
Right.
good relationship with the dude with Long Live Go-Go. So,
Right. Right. Right.
yeah.
Yada.
But you
Yeah.
can
I had
catch but you can catch us down there Saturday like at 8 o'clock. If you're trying to get
8 o'clock.
there.
And it's 14 for you, right?
Mm-hmm. 14th and U by the
Yeah.
Reeves Center, yeah. By the old
Yeah.
Club U.
Yep.
Those
I
everybody don't
remember.
know.
I used to play there every week. I definitely remember the club.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Was anything? So are you guys in the studio right now? You working on stuff? When can we expect a release?
We actually about to drop 2 singles like tomorrow. Honestly, we just waiting for like, cover artwork because we don't just like to just throw it on the internet like how they used to do back in the day. Hey, we got a new CD. Throw the link
Right.
on PA Palace. You click on the link, and then a million people comment on your song. I don't like this song. It's slow, or this very crazy. So now we don't do it like that. We kind of like I said, we kind of like try to be in the realm of as if we're artists. Like let's come up with the good cover artwork. Let's promote it for a day or two. You know what I'm saying? If we get the cover artwork done, you know what I'm saying, before we get the final product, then we just promote it. Like, so like right now we about to put 2 singles out, an original single called Sitting at the Bar, original music, like we arranged the music, we arranged all the lyrics, it's all original content, and then we cover I don't know if you know the Ponderosa Twins plus one. The dude, the little group that sing "Bound to Fall in Love," Kanye West sampled their song.
Okay, yeah.
We remixed and covered off the bounce beat one of they oldie but goodie songs, and then we also got another mixtape, Quarantine Pack. We already dropped the mixtape a few months ago when the quarantine first happened, because we just been in the studio since quarantine. We just been in the studio recording, coming up with all music and stuff. So we dropped the Quarantine Pack Volume 1, but the Quarantine Pack Volume 2, Oldie but Goodies, is going to drop any day now. We should be getting it any day now. And there's a bunch of 60s and 70s music that we just that we read, because I got an old soul, my parents old, so like I just like got a knack for the hitting a lot of the older school songs. So like it's a lot of different mixed songs from the 60s and 70s, from Earth, Wind & Fire, from the Ponderosa Twins, and a lot of Earth, Wind & Fire, because that's all my father listens to. Listen to that too. So yeah, but we got a new CD coming out too.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I just was saying that's a good influence to have, Earth, Wind & Fire as a band. I had Salih has been on here. He used to work with them a lot. And then also I'm trying to remember what the song was that you guys did, but I remember I interviewed Chris Richards from the Washington Post, who's a friend of mine, is the pop critic, and he singled you guys out as one of his favorite go-go experiences was going to see you guys. I think it was We Are the World. Don't you guys do We Are the World? Maybe it's the wrong song. I can't remember exactly what it was. I have to go back and look at the interview.
He probably was talking about the fantasy Earth, Wind & Fire song. I don't know, Lovely Day or something. I don't know. We had a lot of old school songs anyway, so I don't know, but that's dope though. That's dope.
Yeah, he literally, this is, he writes for the Washington Post, which is not a small publication, and he you guys out as one of his most enjoyable go-go experiences was hearing you. I just don't remember the song, unfortunately. I apologize, but
dope,
but man. Cool, man. Listen, sounds like you guys have a lot of good stuff going on, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Where can people find, like, when you put these singles out? Where are they? Where do people find them?
Well, most of what we try to put all of our original content on all platforms: Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. And then most of the cover music, you can find the cover music on Spinrilla. You can find most of our cover and most of our mixtapes that's covered, like cover songs that we cover, and we just did it our own way. You can find mostly all our cover mixtapes, like mixtapes on Spinrilla. But mostly all our original content will be on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, and YouTube, because they just now made YouTube, eligible to be like a platform for you to receive money on, like, other streams and downloads. So you can just catch like all our original content would be on like YouTube, But you can catch some of our covers on YouTube too. We just don't get paid for it. We don't see no revenue off of it. But we got most of our music is on YouTube, Spinrilla, and all other platforms.
Okay. And people just look up TOB or Takeover Band or what? That's what it's for, right?
TOB. Yep, Takeover Band. You can just put TOB.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Well, look, Chris, thanks so much for taking the time today. I appreciate it, man. Is there anything else you wanted to know about?
Man, follow us on all social media platforms, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at TLB Band. The show, follow me on all platforms at Lil Chris TLB, and also follow my secondary page, TLB Chris, man. And just look out for that new music, man. We got 2 new singles on the way, and we got a mixtape on the way, man. Stay tuned.
That's dope, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll have you back soon. And I'll talk to you soon, too. Okay, bet. All right, thanks, man. All right, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Do me a favor, please. Right below, click subscribe and click the little bell icon. When you click the bell icon, what that does is let you know when an episode is coming on. I thought it was We Are the World, Brooks. But yeah, so please subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. And thanks again to Chris. Tomorrow we have 32 rescheduled from last week. He was supposed to be on last week, but ended up something came up, and so he wasn't able to do it. So we got David 32 Ellis Senior, to make sure I get the senior on there, from currently Junkyard, previously Junkyard, also previously Rassens, and my old band Northeast Groovers, as well as he was in 911 and the mixed band as well. So so make sure you tune in for that tomorrow. And thanks so much for tuning in. And next week's schedule should be up soon on gogotix.co, which you can see right here. And yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.